faster is not skipping, it is a way to upgrade your brain. Welcome back to day 6 of the Speed Reading Short Break series, and yes, we are back bigger and better. Today is day 6. Today we'll be busting one of the myths, the biggest myth there is about speed reading, the idea that reading faster means skipping or sacrificing comprehension. That is false. You know the truth? Speed reading is not rushing, it is rewiring. And hey, this is Leslie Grace, the founder of the Smart Speakers Academy. And today we have Nasu as the first person to join us on this live, the Speed Reading Short Break series. And hi, Chocolicia, I see you. Okay, today we want to burst that myth. So many people have been hearing about speed reading and they're wondering, are you sure I'm not skipping out some information? How am I sure that I'm not losing out? That is a huge myth, that speed reading actually makes you to skip information or to lose some certain important facts. It's going to be an amazing conversation, and I'm sure that you leave here with much more value for your time. Thank you for joining us today. Let's hit the road. You are not just flipping pages when you're doing speed reading. You are training your brain to process information visually instead of audibly. It's not a shortcut, it is a superpower. Now let me explain. There are two ways to read: visual reading and audio reading. Okay? Just stick on. It's sounding interesting already. And it's looking like, what's she talking about? Let's go. What really is speed reading? Speed reading is simply shifting from audio-based reading to visual-based reading. Most people read by sounding out. That's audio-based reading. They read by audibly saying out the words. However, speed reading is not about that. Speed reading is actually being able to read without sounding out. Now, this is because when you have to sound out every word, you are actually limiting your speed. You are actually limiting yourself, okay? Because you now have to read at the pace of the number of words that your voice can take per time, right? Now, speed readers see words in visual chunks. They are bypassing the inner voice and unlocking reading speed at about 600 to 1,000 words per time, as opposed to the average of 200 to 300 words per time. Because of course, when you're reading audibly, when you're reading with audio sounds from your mouth, or sometimes subconsciously in your subconscious, in your head, it means that you have to read at your talking speed. Now, there are two kinds of speed: mouth speed and mind speed. And I always say this each time I'm having to teach this. I always ask that, you remember the last time you were faced with an emergency, or you were given a task or something to brainstorm on? You remember how your mind could give you 1,000 thoughts at the same time? You literally were just flooded with different ideas, different kinds of thoughts. That is the power of the mind's speed. Now, that's where we want you to read at when we're saying speed reading. But the thing is, the regular reading you were taught in school was that you have to say the words out. And most of us, I have toddlers, even when we're teaching our children how to read, we tell them to read out, say it out, say the words out. Now, that's not bad when you are age 6 or when you are younger or when you have to try to learn to read. However, as a professional who is busy, if you have to read at that level, then it will take you days and months to finish a book. That way, you have piles of books unread. So, this mental upgrade of moving from reading at your mouth speed, reading audibly, to actually reading visually activates different brain areas and changes how you engage with text forever. The question is, why do most people default to slow reading? Why? Because that's how we were trained in school. So do not blame yourself. Do not be hard on yourself. Do not say, so why do I have to read slow when others are doing it faster? No. The first step is actually information, which is what you're getting now. Okay? So the reason you're reading slowly or at the pace where you're reading, for most of us who were involved in the task I gave last week, they found out that they could read 200 to 300 words per minute. Now, the reason you're reading that way is because that's how you're trained in school. You were trained to sound out words like beginners, because that's who you were when you were learning to read at that time. Now, that habit created neural pathways that stuck. But your brain was always wired for faster processing. It just needs a retraining at this point. You've done a lot with what you've learned. Now, you need some form of retraining to be able to move it from the point where it is now to even a better, more point. Let's look at the neuroscience behind speed reading. Speed readers show more activity in the visual cortex, the image processing center of the brain. Speed readers engage parafoveal vision, taking into multiple words in a simple glance. This leverages happen to create a pattern of recognition that allows your brain to grasp meaning in units instead of simple words, instead of singular words. Okay? As a result, speed reading is equals to better focus plus faster learning, which it results in higher comprehension. Now, I want you to calm down. I want to give you a real life scenario and show you real life results. A busy executive who is struggling with finishing a book in 2 months. With visual reading, moving away from the point of audio reading to visual reading, this person should be able to quickly double their speed and will discover that they will be able to read at least a book a week. Because they now learn to improve performance of reading, of their ability to use their eyes to cite more than one word per time and to silence their audio, their voice. Okay, so I hope that helps. Now, why speed reading matters? Why speed reading matters? Number one, speed reading helps you eliminate distraction. So you see that reading that you are doing, and you are reading and you remember, hi Pesetamon, and you remember that, oh, I have fried rice in the fridge and I need to put it in the microwave to have it for lunch today. All of that happening to you is because you're reading too slow. Speed reading helps you eliminate distraction. Number two, it helps you boost comprehension. Because when you chunk words, your brain understands the context faster. Number three, it builds momentum. Reading becomes engaging, not exhausting. So if you're at the point where the sight of your bookshelf and you cite the books that are there gets you really exhausted, then it's because you're reading too slow. Number four, speed reading helps you save time. It helps you finish more books, absorb more knowledge, and grow your career faster. So you see, when you continually practice this skill, it helps you hack what I call speed of thoughts. And speed of thoughts would always result in speed of creativity, speed of invention, speed of ideas implementation. Hi, Audu, I see you. Now, how do you start upgrading your reading speed? Number one, notice your inner voice. You need to pay attention when you're reading. Can you hear yourself when you read? Can you hear every word? The sad part about that is that it's slowing you down. If this conversation is getting more interesting for you and you know a professional who should be here, tag them. Most importantly, follow this page. We're here every weekday, 1 o'clock to 1:30 p.m. for the Speed Reading Short Break series. Let's continue. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Chocolatia. Speed reading helps eliminate distraction. Number two, how do you know it's time for you to upgrade your reading speed? How to start upgrading your reading speed? Number one, I said notice your inner voice, and you need to start working on quieting it. Number two, practice chunking. Now, chunking is a whole system. It's a skill that you need to learn. It's a skill that you need to learn, and you learn that skill simply by joining our Speed Reading Masterclass on June 20th. Have you paid? Have you secured your slot? The price is still at $99.99, but after now, it's increasing to $39.99. I know you don't want to do that. Use the link in our bio and register for that class, and that's where you can learn chunking. The good thing about chunking is that you'll be able to read 3 to 4 words or more at once. So it's chunking, just eating it up together at once. And hey, you're not losing any of it. I have said it in this live that speed does not stop comprehension. Speed reading is not a force that's stopping your comprehension. No. It gives you motion. Thank you. Speed reading gives you motion. Number three, you need to start reading with a reading guide. Now, these guides help your eyes smoothly move. Remember, I said you need to move away from reading audibly to me reading visually. Now, there are some visual aids, there are some aids that you would need to move your eyes. Because if you're using your mouth, you have to say one word at a time. I want you to picture a scenario. Picture a scenario of you seeing a movie that you do not understand the language that they speak. It may be a Korean movie if you do not speak Korean. Hi, Chico, I see you. Thank you for joining us. And then you have to see this movie. Do you know that you can actually follow? How many of us have seen a movie before in a language you do not understand, yet we understood that movie? Let me know in the comment section. You've seen a Korean movie, an Indian movie, a Yoruba movie. When you are not Yoruba, you're not Indian, you're not Korean, but you were able to understand that movie fully to the end. How many of us? I want to use this scenario to point to you that there's a difference between visual reading and audio reading. Let me know in the comment section. I have seen so many movies in languages I do not understand. But the beauty of it is, I noticed that I was actually able to understand those movies. I picked interest in those movies and I stayed till the end. Hi, Obi Best. I followed through those movies to the end. Can someone confirm for me? Okay. Now, you were able to gain comprehension and understand those movies. Do you know why? Even when you couldn't hear what they were saying. Why? Your visual was what you used to watch those movies. Yes. Hi, Ayoeze. I was looking for you. So good to have you here, ma'am. Welcome. You see a movie in a language you do not understand, yet you were able to follow through with that movie to the end. You understood it. You could relate, and you can even tell someone what happened in that movie. Has it happened to you before? Now, that's showing you that I have seen those movies. Thank you, I will do. Thank you. I needed some connection. Okay. Oh, sorry, Ayoeze. Oh, you're here now, right? So that's a proof that you can actually learn without audio. So did you see? What made you follow through those movies, I will do, is of course because you used your visual, you used your eyes. So you could relate to everything happening there, even without categorically understanding what they could say. That's exactly what speed reading is. You're not using your audio, but your visuals work. Now, the good thing about your visuals is that you can actually comprehend faster with your visuals. You can. Do you know that most of us as humans, we can actually see a movie we do not understand just by watching it, as opposed to just by listening? Imagine you seeing a movie just by listening, you're not watching. Is the fee? Yes, Obi Best, the fee is still at 19,999. 19,999. It's still at that, but in any moment from now, it could be increased to 29,999, and you don't want that. 39,999, I beg your pardon. So jump on it, okay? Now, that's a proof to tell you that there's a difference. If they tell you watch a movie just by listening to it without seeing it, and see a movie by watching, even though you cannot hear what they're saying, I'm sure most of us will go for visuals, right? That's what we're saying, okay? You are wired to use, hi Kemi, I see you. You are wired to actually use your visuals largely. What it does to you again is that it distracts that inner voice. You'll be able to work on minimizing, silencing that inner voice. Now, this is the whole system, and that's what we'll be teaching at the Speed Reading Masterclass come June 20th. Another way to up this is by practicing daily. When you get the skill at the masterclass, you have to start practicing. One thing you will learn from that masterclass is that you'll be able to learn how to break free from bad reading habits. You'll be able to master visual reading drills and techniques that will help you to maximize your visuals when you read. You'll be able to use tools and apps that support speed reading. There's so many tools and apps that can help you. You'll be able to integrate speed reading into your daily life without quitting your jobs. In our Inner Circle program, it's called the Book Bingers, both of the Smart Speakers Academy. So many professionals say things like, do I have to quit my job? Because what we do there is that we give you everything that you need to read at least a book a week or year round. And most times professionals will say, oh, do I have to quit my life? I cannot meet up. I don't have such time. It's for people who are less busy, I've seen really busy people in our Inner Circle program. really busy people who have been able to incorporate this into their daily lifestyle. So it's something you shouldn't miss at all. Now, I would love to show you 10 key reasons between visual reading and audio reading. Number 1, reading was designed to be visual, but most of us were trained to read aloud. Now, you see that read aloud you were told in school, right? That's reading audibly. But as a professional who, at your level, you need to read, but you do not have the time, you cannot read aloud. Reading aloud is reading at your mouth speed. Reading visibly is reading, visual reading is reading at your mind's speed. It's two different things. Audio reading will give you hearing words. Visual reading will give you seeing blocks of words at once. I give you a typical example. Let's say you see a no parking sign somewhere. Do you know that when you look at that no parking sign, your eyes just pick it. You just chunk those words up. You do not pause to now do no parking. Do you? I'm sure you don't. That's an example of a difference between reading audibly and reading visually. Now, it's like you being built to drive, but you're just walking. That's the difference. You can actually drive, but you decide to walk. You can get to the same destination, but the speed is not the same. It's not the same. Visual reading is faster because the brain processes images quicker than sounds. Just take a look from where you are. If you are top of a building, take a look to side down the road. Can you see how many images your eyes could pick? Now imagine you having to say those words at a time. Maybe you saw a vulture, you saw a jacuzzi, you saw a Ferrari. Imagine you having to name those words at a time, as opposed to the person who's just seeing it. You can imagine how your eyes can picture 30, 40, 50, 80, 100 images from where you are once you can sight from the top of the building. That's what speed reading is about. Using your visuals to actually sight words, chunk them up, process them without losing an iota of comprehension. Imagine you watching a movie versus hearing someone read the script aloud to you. There's a difference. You actually sitting to see the movie and someone having to read aloud the script to you. Is it going to be the same? Imagine I have to read aloud the script of a 2-hour movie. Do you know how long that would take? All right. Audio reading overloads your inner voice and limits comprehension. This is interesting, right? Tag every professional you know that is stuck up in the place of I'm too busy to read. I don't have the time. I get it. I'm busy as well. Speed reading came to my rescue. And that's why my passion is to help every single professional I know. Most importantly, I wasn't just able to finish books. I was able to work on my speed of thoughts. I create on my feet. I think on my feet literally. I work with speed in every area of my life since I started practicing speed reading. Because I see that it actually takes your mind to the place of its functionality. Premium maximum functionality. All right? You can't think deeply while listening in your head. That's the part. So even if you're not saying those words out, if you're saying them in your mind, it's also going to hamper your speed of thought. Visual reading frees up that mental bandwidth so that you can have idea generation. Visual reading builds pattern recognition. Your brain sees phrases and ideas, not just words. That's what you learn at the Speed Reading Masterclass. How to use visual reading every time you pick up a piece. It's like recognizing someone in a crowd. Your brain fills in patterns quickly. If you have to look at everybody's face before you pick the one person you're looking for in the crowd, as opposed to you staying somewhere and just citing the person, who should you go for? That's what speed reading does. It helps you just identify and just pick and move. It's not necessarily skipping. That myth, we're debunking it today. Speed reading is not skipping ideas or points. No, it is not. Audio reading slows down ideas generation. Yes. Because you are thinking at the speed of your voice. And your voice can only say one word per time. At best, your voice can just do 200 to 250 to 300 words per minute. But with visual reading, you can do 1,000 words and more per time. Audio reading slows down idea generation. Visual reading increases your stamina and reduces mental fatigue. All those, I don't know, I want to read, but each time I pick up my book, I'm tired, I feel drained, I feel distracted. It's because you are doing audio reading. Your mouth is tired. But guess what? Your brain is never tired. Your eyes can never say they're tired of seeing, can they? But your mouth will definitely get tired. Even if you're using your inner voice, it will get fatigued at some point. So visual reading increases stamina and reduces mental fatigue. Self-vocalizing tires the brain. But visual readers can sustain focus longer with less effort. Focus is there. You know, speed and focus are largely linked. You know, right? When you are doing something fast, your whole mind is there. You are driving at a high speed. You won't notice anybody by the side. Visual reading lets you multitask mentally. Imagine seeing a movie that you don't understand the language. Do you know you focus more on that movie? Because you can't hear anything. You're only dependent on what you're seeing with your eyes. And your focus is more on that movie because you can't hear anything. Imagine putting that into reading, where the audio is silenced. Your mouth is not giving you anything. Your inner voice is not giving you anything. The only thing you can rely on is your ability to actually use your eyes and focus on what you're reading. You're going to gain speed. And that is where you get 100% comprehension. But you see that reading that your mouth is saying something, before you know it, your mind is thinking about dinner you want to make today. Or your mind is thinking about something that stressed you out last night. And you're just everywhere. Because your mouth is too slow. The speed of your inner voice is slow. It's giving you room to drift. It's giving your mind room to just, I mean, the slowness is actually stalling the whole process. Audio reading causes more rereading. That's the sad part. You end up going through that circle. You go, you reread, you discover you don't understand, you read, you just keep going round circle. That's what audio reading does to you. However, with visual reading, you improve your continuity and your flow. Visual reading lets you multitask. Some people say they are reading and they are listening to podcasts and they are making a meal at the same time. That's because you're reading with audio reading and you're slow. When you are reading with speed, you cannot afford to do anything else at the time. You're just on that book. The good thing about focus is that you finish earlier. It's like someone who is doing one thing per time. You're going to finish earlier. You're going to finish faster. Okay? Audio reading causes more rereading. We've already said that. Visual reading enhances learning speed and cognitive growth. I mean, you know what it feels like when you know that, oh, I've covered this amount of book this year, and this is what I've been able to implement from what I've learned from these books. I mean, your learning speed will be enhanced, and cognitive growth as well. You finish more books, you learn more ideas, and you grow faster. It's like audio is like riding on a bicycle. Visual is like you driving on a mental expressway. You're just fast, and fast is fun. Fast is fun. Imagine watching a foreign movie with subtitles in your language. Your eyes read faster than the actors speak. You jump ahead, you stay engaged. But if you rely only on the audio, you are stuck at the speaker's pace. That's the difference between visual reading and audio reading. So visual reading is actually speed reading. Audio reading or audio style reading is audio style sub-vocalization. Your brain wasn't built to crawl. Nah. It wasn't built to crawl through books. Your brain was built to fly. You were trained to read like a child. Sadly, that's fine. Slowly, audibly, word by word, that's when you were a child. It's time for you to unlearn that and upgrade your brain to process information visually. Speed reading is not skipping. I hope I've been able to debunk that myth today. No, speed reading is not skipping. It's not at all. It's stepping into the full power of your brain. Are you ready to step into that level of full power of your brain? You have to use the link in my bio, register for the speed reading masterclass, and we'll have to rewire your brain. Don't miss the speed reading masterclass on June 20th. It's just 2 hours of unlocking speed, of unlocking visual reading, visual based reading. You learn real techniques, train with proven tools, save your time and your brain. So many bonuses you get from this class, and it will be one of the best things that ever happened to your brain. I hope that you love this class and it was nice for you. Hi Kitty's Warehouse, thank you for joining us. If you're yet to follow this page, why? Follow us, turn on your notification. We're here every single weekday, 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. on the Speed Reading Short Pick series. And if you're just joining us, feel free to catch a replay. You will be glad that you did. Thank you so much for joining in this live today. I'll see you again tomorrow at 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. and we'll continue this conversation. Follow us, tag a professional you know to see this video, to learn how to read faster and cause your brain to work even faster as well. Thank you for joining us, and this is The Smart World. See you tomorrow.